been enjoying the heat, then you're going to really like today, because we're probably going to see the peak of those summer-like temperatures really go into today, as we're going to be getting a lot of us to the 80s. We're going to get into that, as well as some of the isolated storms we could possibly start seeing today. They can bring a severe threat, and then we're going to continue seeing some rain chances as we go later in the week, but we're also going to start seeing those fall conditions make their way back in. Let's start here. We're going to look at the winds, because not quite as strong as they will be yesterday, at least further west, but we can still be a little gusty at times, getting up to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. But the big thing that is going to continue doing is bringing up warmer air. Because in fact, here you look at this just warm air advection out of the south, and it's just going to let those temperatures really peak today. In fact, we're expecting temperatures for a lot of us to be getting into the 80s for those highs, and that's putting us probably 15 to 20 degrees above the seasonal average for many of us. It is going to feel like we're in the middle of July. Even by Lake Superior, you have to be right on the lake, basically right there at it, to really be feeling much of the cooling effects from Lake Superior, because the lake breeze is going to subside substantially today. So all of us feeling the heat, and it's going to be pretty humid as well. Dew points pushing into the 60s, maybe low 70s at times, allowing the heat index to be pushing into the upper 80s, maybe low 90s. So be ready for some heat as well. I know some of us have been just into fall, but the summer heat looks like it wants to hang on there and enjoy it while it lasts, because it will start to go away as we get closer to winter. But let's now look at satellite radar, because it's not just going to be the heat today, but some rain as well. We're already seeing it down here going through Iron County, making its way into the UP. Some storms bringing some small hail, but overall mostly just bringing some pretty good rain. No severe threat with these. However, you can start seeing more severe threat later on. You can see some storms early in the afternoon up into the northwest portions of Minnesota, but is when we get later in the afternoon, going into the evening hours, is where we start to see storm development that could be quite robust if they can develop, because they do have a marginal risk for seeing severe weather with these storms later in the afternoon. We can see some large hail and some damaging winds with them. This is a conditional threat, so we have this atmospheric cap in place. This can really hinder storm development, but if we do see that storm development, just keep an eye out for some severe threats with them. And we're going to look at temperatures now going to tomorrow, because still warm, still getting into the low 80s, 70s, still well above average, but a little bit cooler. This is the trend we're going to be entering, because you notice here we have this warm air really building up in the country, because the jet stream well off to the north, allowing the warm air to really make its way all the way into the central portions of Canada. But we have this cutoff flow to the west, bringing rain mostly further west right now into Montana, Wyoming, some of the Dakotas. But this is going to push eastward, and this is going to bring some scattered storms and showers, but also some cooler air. But let's first start with some of the precipitation. We can start seeing more as we get into Wednesday, as the system off to the southwest starts pushing itself in. Again, mostly scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially the further south and west you are. And then we're going to continue seeing this as we before. The better chances actually start coming as we get later into the week, going into the weekend. And we might even see some of the rain actually stick around even Sunday, maybe Monday, but those chances are looking pretty low there. But overall, we're just going to continue seeing these chances coming through. And if you look at the mean sea level pressure, we'll notice that while this little system tries to bring rain, this high pressure over to the east is what's trying to push it away from us, keep it from really pushing in. So it's kind of conditional how much rain we're going to see. Something we just have to keep an eye on as we continue going through the week as the system try to push in. But what this high pressure system is also going to do, it's going to try to push in some cooler air out of the east as well. Let's look at the high temperatures on Friday. Notice a pretty good amount cooler overall. A lot of us into the 60s, some low 70s. So it has dropped off quite a bit for Friday. It's going to feel a lot cooler than it has been, because we've been really feeling that summer heat. But you will notice, even though we're going to drop off a good 15 degrees, still only going to really keep us around the seasonal average, because that's just how warm we are right now. So it is going to be a relief, feeling a lot more like fall, but looks like it's only going to put us around season before we start to bounce back as we get into next week. So looking at our 7-day forecast, it is going to be a warm one. This is very much warm, 80s for some of us, maybe hit even low 90s. We'll have to keep an eye. We did yesterday. And then as we start to continue through the week, we're going to start seeing some cooler weather sink in and some more rain chances as well.